You know that feeling when you're in over your head? Not just because you're scuba diving, but because it's just your sixth dive ever and you're diving with somebody super comfortable and doing wrecks at 60 feet. Well, that was me. This is the story of dives. It's basically 6 through 11. I got certified on the west coast of Catalina Island. So that was my dives 1 through 5, getting open water certified. And then I went to scuba dive with my brother off Fort Lauderdale. Lots of firsts. On the first dive was my first shipwreck, first wreck dive ever, and I was going inside the wreck, but it was a perfect wreck to do that big open space. Lots of clearance, so it wasn't hard to get inside the main room. And a little later, you can go through the pilot house. So yeah, first pass through. This is also my first encounter with a very large fish. In this case, a Goliath grouper. Pretty incredible to see in the flesh. While these guys aren't typically dangerous to humans, when you get this close to a large animal in the wild, there's always a little bit of fear mixed into the awe. My second dive in Fort Lauderdale was a reef dive. This is actually video from the sixth dive. All the reef video will be from the sixth dive, but they're all actually the same reef, so that shouldn't be too big of a deal. But each of the 3 days we dove one shipwreck, followed by a shallow drift dive in the reef. Also my first drift dive here. Our second and third wrecks were upside down, so they weren't quite as pretty to look at. The holes at least weren't, but we spent a lot of time looking for critters in the wreckage and the hulls. The wreckage could be pretty interesting. There's kind of a jungle gym. There's quite a bit of fish in it. You can see me having a little more trouble in a second going through this, where I hit one of the bars right there. Yep, it's me. Also, my first time seeing a shark while scuba diving, which actually wasn't that scary. I guess I'd heard enough about nurse sharks, and that was not one of the moments of panic. One of the scarier moments was actually this right here. We were coming up on another Goliath grouper. My brother pointed him out to me. My brother is usually the cameraman, and I'm off to the right. And this was only a little scary because we realized that we'd unintentionally almost surrounded the grouper. Between us and the other divers from our boat, we really just left him one opening to get out. And of course, he took his cue and got out. In the wreckage surrounding this shipwreck, we also looked for a bunch of critters, and while there were some cool fish around, it's definitely a lot less lively. So in addition to looking for fish, we use the piles of pipes as a bit of a playground and attempt some more tricky pass-throughs. Unfortunately, some people had gone before us and really whited out this one, uh, so we had to get out and come back later. Yep, that's James fitting between the hull and the ground, the upside down hull and the ground, and I have a little more trouble following. And the other thing that we did, or James did, during the reef dives was try and catch lobster. This little guy we got him chasing is actually too small, but the ones that weren't too small were quite tasty. So in terms of first, here's also my first time using a GoPro underwater. In terms of the 3 scariest or most panicky moments from dives 6 through 11, I already mentioned one of them when we almost cornered the Goliath grouper with a group of divers accidentally. The second one was the whiteout situation inside the hull of the third ship. That is when we had all those particles around us and couldn't see that well. The third one was just really simple. At the end of my very last dive, I was somewhat low on air, and we were only at 30 or so feet, but it kind of induced a panicky moment where I had to fight within the 2 sides of my brain saying, this is bad, and no, you're actually going to be okay. And in that fighting, I guess I wasn't watching my depth, ended up not making my safety stop on the way up. So whoops. Just a good reminder that I have a lot left to learn, and in all honesty, I really look forward to having the opportunity to learn it.